Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Engineer Shehu Isa Adebisi, and I will be teaching you the common mistakes that people make during loading of their structural members, especially. But for this case study, we'll be talking about building. I noticed that a lot of people don't know how to load building structures. Engineering is not an assumption. Engineering is fact based, evidence based. You see people putting arbitrary values in the software. You see people just going to the software and putting arbitrary values. Most of them just put values. They don't even know what they are putting. It might actually interest you that if it's wearing for the factor of safety, there are some structures, there are some buildings that people design that would actually fail ultimate limit test. Now, let me show you what people do. Actually, let me show you what people do. People come here and do like this. Let's go to properties and do like this. Then they come, let's say the slab is 150, then they make this one 150, right? They make it 150, then they come to load, then they put value of dead load as some people, I don't know, some people put two, some people put two. Then here, yes, we know that the imposed load is actually code based anyway. The imposed load is code based, so you can right click and pick this. But the thing is that now, when you ask them that, how did they get the value of the dead load to be 2.0? They won't be able to tell you. They say they are just putting a value of an additional load of 2.0. Now, like I said, this course or this video is actually going to be based on common mistakes that people make. Common mistakes that people make during loading of their structures. And I need you to pay very close attention to this video on how to load your structure. Now, I have a spreadsheet here that I will use to actually teach you. Now, as you can see here, as you can see here, you have your dead load and you also have your live load. Now, this is my total dead load, which is 7.93, and this is my live load, which is 1.5. The thickness of my slab is 0.15, right? Which is actually, and for you to get the load in kilonewton per meter squared is actually thickness times the density, right? The thickness that times the density gives you the load in what? Kilonewton per meter. Now, the density of concrete is 24 kilonewton per meter cube. So 24 multiplied by 0.15, you can see where my mouse is, gave us 2.60 kilo 3.60, I beg your pardon, kilonewton per meter squared, right? Now this 1.5 is actually partition allowance, is actually code based. You can get this from the code. Between 1 to 1.5, you get this from the code 1.5. But where people normally make mistake, and where I actually have issues with, is actually the value of these finishes. You see people putting finishes of 2.0. You even see some people putting finishes of 1.5. Now, you are the one that is meant to calculate the value of your finishes. You, not anybody else. You should calculate it. Now, for this structure of mine now, for this structure of mine, I want to derive the component of my finishes. I want to derive the components of my finishes. Now, my screed, my screed, yeah. So I want my screed, because on my sites, on most of my screeds are actually 75 mm. Now, if you're sure that on your own site your screed is 50 mm and the people that are doing the screed are actually going to stick to it, fine and good, you can make yours 50 mm, but you just need to compute it and calculate it. Now, my ties thickness, okay, let's go to the spreadsheet and let's look at the spreadsheet now. Okay, I have POP. Now, of course, we all know that your POP is not more than is not more than 25 mm, right? Now remember that the POP is actually attached to the slab. Then we also have this also. We also have this now most of the ties most of the ties are what? They are 3 mm. Now I need to now compute my finishing load, to some extent also my dead load, based on this finishes, based on these parameters that I'm going to apply to my slab when I'm doing my finishes. I need to compute this, and I will now show you how to apply it on the software. You would see that majority of you have been underloading your structures. Now let's come here now. Now when you now remember that this now remember that for you to get this, your load is what? Density times times the thickness of the material that you're using. That is the thickness of that material on your slab. That is going to give you the load in what? Kilonewton per meter squared, right? Now let's come here now. My screed is what? My screed thickness is what? 75 mm, which is what? 0.075, right? When you convert it to meter. So 75 multiplied by the density of screed. Now the density of screed is also is between 22 and 24 kilonewton per meter squared. So we go with 24. So the density of screed is what? 24 kilonewton per meter cube. I beg your pardon. So you have 24 multiplied by 0.075, give us 1.8. Now this is my load. Now this is the value of my screed in kilonewton per meter squared. This is what I'm subjecting my structure to. But if you're sure that the density of your screed is 0.07 is 50 mm, so you have 0.05 multiplied by 24, which is 1.2. That is if you're sure. So you can change this to 1.2, right? Now my POP thickness is what? 25 mm. The density of my POP is 10 kilonewton per meter cube, multiplied by 0.025. 0.025 times what? 10 is giving me 0.25, which is what we have here, right? Now my tile thickness, the thickness of my tile multiplied by the density of my tile. Now the density of my tile is 26 kilonewton per meter cube. So you have 26 times 0.03, right? Let's see if it's going to give us 0.78. 26 times 0.03. So I have 0.78. So my total finishing load is 2.83, and this is the 2.83 that you're seeing here, right? This is what you're seeing here, the 2.83. It is the cumulation of all the finishes that will be added to my structure in terms of its density and the thickness of that finishing material, be it screed, POP or tiles. Now if you're adding a waterproofing material to your slab, you need to also get the density of that waterproofing material multiplied by the thickness of the, that means if you're adding felt to the slab, so you get the thickness of, now the thickness of the felt that you're adding to the slab multiplied by the density of the felt. You also add it to this, which would make this one go up a little bit, right? Now when you look at the spreadsheet, this 7.93 was gotten from 3.6 plus 2.83 plus 1.5, which is the partition allowance, gave us 7.93, right? Now 7.93 multiplied by 1.4 gave us 11.102. So this is the total ultimate dead load. This 1.5 is the imposed load for a residential building, multiplied by 1.6 gave us 2.4 kilonewton per meter square. So the total ultimate load is 13.502. right? Now let me show you how to apply this on the software. This is where I need you to pay very close attention to now, right? Now see this. If you want to apply this now, the moment you input the thickness of your slab thickness on the software, automatically it gives you the self weight. It actually calculates this automatically, which is what 3.6, which is this 3.6, sorry, which is this 3.6 that you're seeing here. So we are left with the partition allowance and the what? The total finish load. So you have 2 point, so for you to now apply it, you now have 2.83 plus 1.5. So you have 4.33. Now this place that you now have this dead load, this you are going to apply the finishing load, which is 2.83 plus the partition allowance, which is what 1.5, which gave us 4.33. That is what you're going to put in this dead load. Then you now put your 1.5. This is how to estimate the load of a building. This is how to estimate it, and this is how to add it to the software. You see, a lot of people say, total structure is not good, the software is not good, this that. You don't know how to use the software. That is the problem. So you have 4.33, right? So let's make this, or let me delete this, then we have this, right? Now when you analyze this, okay, let's try something. Let's run the analysis. Let me just do the analysis. So let's go to building analysis, building analysis. I want to check the final ultimate load of the software. I just want to check the final ultimate load of the software. Okay, let's just run analysis. I didn't intend to run the analysis before. I just wanted to show you how to apply it. But there's something I want to show you guys. There's something that I want to show you guys. So let's wait for you to finish analyzing. Okay, so this is what we have. Now let's add the slab strip now. Let's go to, now let's add the slab strip. So if you're going in, so we have up to board, right? And we're going on X, so we have X. Let me just do, okay, let me just do for just 3 strips. Okay, so let's go to properties. Okay, now this is what we have now. So let's double click on this, right? That's what we have. Okay, this is what we have now. Okay, so let's go to design, right? So let's go to slab analysis and design, right? Okay, this is what we have. I just want to show you guys the analysis output. So let's double click on this, right? So this is what we have, right? Yeah, so this is what we have. So we have this. Okay, so let's check the report. So let's wait for it to come up. So please, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, kindly subscribe. I'm back now, and I intend dropping videos back to back, videos on steel and reinforced concrete structures, and I'll also be showing you guys how to model a retaining wall with Stack Pro. Okay, so this is what we have now. This is where I want you guys to pay close attention on. You can see where my mouse is now. The ultimate load is 13.5 kilonewton per meter squared. Can you see that all I did was just to input the parameters? Now let's cross check with what we have here. You can see that is also 13.5. So all you need to do is just to input the parameter at SLS, service load. The software automatically uses the dead load, the factored dead load and the factored live load to now calculate and to now design your structure. Now this is where I'm actually going to end the video. If you have any question, kindly drop your question on the comment section and I will gladly respond to you. Thank you very much for watching this